But the title of this one today is How to Avoid Failing in Trading. I have done this for a long time. I can tell you the most painful lessons are the ones that I resisted most. And you probably will do that too. As a developing student, as a break-even trader, a trader that maybe sometimes makes money and gets excited and then loses it. You're going to go through a lot of different pathways off the main well-beaten path that I'm laying in front of you. You're all going to try to do your own little thing. That's normal. But it's important for you to realize that, that impulse, that tendency, if you will, to want to be the guy, the gal, the person that trailblazes and makes it a new path. It branches off into a different direction, goes here, goes there. If you don't have the experience doing it, that's a gamble. It might be very adventurous, it might be fun, it might be one of those adrenaline rushes. And like the lottery, you might be able to pull something off. It just might happen. But most of the time it won't. So when I or anyone else that have gone through things and learned very valuable lessons, that my intentions are to spare you the pain and that monetary loss and the doubt that, if you try to do it too quickly and you fail, it's real easy to say, I can't do this. I won't be able to do this. I'm not going to be profitable. Carl's going to be correct and I'll be working next to him in this cubicle for the rest of my life. And that's a lie. That's something that you're inviting to be your reality, but it isn't really your reality. It's just a result. It's a result of you doing the incorrect things and trying to skip over the necessary lessons. And I want to talk a little bit about what I observed with my son when he was trying to do the Top Step combine. And talking to him, listening to his reasons for what he was trying to do and what he was wanting to overcome and what was the feelings afterwards. And I'm going to tell you what I counseled him to try to focus on and how to get over that. Because now he has that scar tissue, that inability to have that fresh mindset where, you might lose money, but let's not focus on that. Let's focus on all the upside and stay motivated. That's very difficult. That's very, very difficult to do when you fail. When you lose, when you blow an account, when you fail a combine, or if you get funded. And then once you get the funded account, you lose the plot, you lose focus, and you're so much in a hurry to just get to a level where you can ask for a payout because you need to feel like you've done something. Well, you have done something. You've grown. And you have to be able to appreciate those mile markers. And that's the number one thing you do is you log, you journal every time you climb to a new plateau of understanding and growth in your understanding about yourself as a trader, because that's the factor. That's the thing you don't see coming. That's the thing that's going to hit you from the blind side. That's going to derail you. It's not me. It's not me holding back a lesson. It's not somebody else selling a course. It's not somebody else giving you a signal, because it's ultimately you that will undo you. And you don't see it coming. When you first start doing this, you don't really appreciate the risk. You don't. Nobody. I didn't. I did not. And nobody does. And the number one thing you have to understand to avoid failing in trading is that you have to have the mindset that this is for you. It's just like anything else. You're not gonna be 100%. And one of the lessons I taught, well, I taught on this many times, but when I'm not able to focus, if I'm having a period of time where I'm having a lot of different mood swings because of my bipolarism, it's hard for me to wrestle that. And sometimes because of real life, maybe a relationship issue that my wife and I are wrestling through because of a child, or it may be, like recently I lost one of my pets, and that is very hard for me. So I've been angry. I've been trying to replace that absence of not having her, and wanting to do something else to make myself feel better. And going into the marketplace, I know that my mind isn't going to be clear, and I'm wanting to find a victim. I want to go out there and smash somebody upside the head and take something from them because I'm hurting. When you do these types of things, when you do these things in your trading or trying to pass combines, trying to push your funded account because maybe you're angry about missing an opportunity, or you're angry because you took a loss and you regret it because you knew in the back of your mind that conscience was telling you, don't push the button. This isn't the best trade idea for you. And you're really not looking at your model. You're just looking at, oh, it might go up there or it might go down there. And many times, and send me a tweet with it, just simply a number 1, if you've been there before, where you just felt like you had to do something. You got to get into a trade. It's not your model. You have no idea really what's going on, but you just think it's going to go up for about 5 to 10 handles, or maybe 10 to 15 pips. And that's really not your model, but you just want to get in there and do something. And if you win, well, it's just like having a scratch off on the lottery. Chances are you're not going to make any money, but what happens if it does? That'll really make my day good. That'll really brighten up my day. That would really lift my spirits because, the universe opened up its graciousness to me and gave me something I didn't deserve. And it's going to make me feel good. It won't. It won't. Because as soon as you do that, you're going to feel like, wow, maybe I'm on a roll today. Let me go do it again. And then you'll lose. That happenstance. So that's gambling. These are things that people do. And this is exactly what I did when I was younger at 20 years old. I did these things impulsively because I was not happy where I was at in my life. I wanted to get back with my first wife. I wanted to have more money. I wanted to have a sense of accomplishment. And I didn't want to do the things that I saw the rest of my family doing, which is work the rest of their life for nothing. And even though they had homes and they had automobiles, swimming pools, and they went on vacations, these individuals have always been, since then and still today, the most miserable people I've ever met in my life. So I didn't want to be like them. So the way you avoid failing in trading is not looking at temporary setbacks as definitive failure. That's the problem with why everyone wants to avoid a losing trade, because you classify that as a failure. Well, not really, ICT. You're really making an extreme out of that. No, in your mind, that's exactly how you see a losing trade, a failure. No. That was a tax on your participation in the marketplace. You can't escape it. The tax man will come for every one of us. And as long as you're profitable, taxes are a nuisance. I could go on a long rant about that topic, but you can't avoid it. And if you spend your entire early part of your career worrying about what happens if you take a loss or losses or go into drawdown, you want to know what that feels like. But in the beginning, you're trying to do everything you can to avoid that, when that's the very thing that you need to have to test your mettle. You need to figure out who you are as a trader in that environment, because that is the battlefield. That's where it all happens, folks. The people that succeed and keep going and make more money and are consistently profitable over a long period of time. Not, let me just get a payout. Let me just get a payout. Let me get my certificate. Let me get up there on social media and say, I took out $1,000, $10,000, $25,000, whatever it is. Like that's the pinnacle of your career. And that's the visibility you have right now. When you first start, I need to get my first payout. When your whole mindset should be, I need to get myself sorted so that way my entire life is pursuing excellence. I'm not gambling. I'm not trying to go out there and trying to replace a discomfort, a depression. Like I'm physically depressed right now. And I wrestle with that. So I know if I go into the marketplace and I do what I'm capable of doing many times, which is club price over the head like a caveman and drag it back to my cave, I may not be seeing something, trying to do something impulsively to get a rise out of all of you on social media. And that will temporarily soothe the depression I'm feeling because I lost a loved one. So you have to be very careful what you do and guard your mind, because if you go into these charts, they're like ink blots. If you go to see a psychiatrist, I've never been to one, so some of you are thinking, "What's what you need, ICT? You need a good shrink." No, I don't. They're not going to fix me, okay? But an ink blot is left to your own interpretation. There's no right answer. But a psychiatrist will take that information and they will be able to determine how you think. Where does your mind gravitate to? And in these candlestick charts, they're going to present what you are wanting to see. Okay, and that chaos, that randomness is many times the agent that is fooling most of you. Because you're taking something internally and you're manifesting it in the charts. I'll paint a scenario for you. When I was 20, I would have all these Rocky themes in the back of my head, all these Rambo type scenarios where I'm a one-man army against everybody else out there. And that didn't help. It didn't help at all. But it was inspirational in the beginning. It gave me the motivation to get in there and study. And eventually I found out what I was supposed to be doing. But there's no sugarcoating it. And if you have pain, if you have loss, if you're sick, if you're just not feeling dialed in, if you just can't find your way to be focused on the chart, you're absolutely inviting and setting a table for failure. You're inviting it. So you have to be aware that you are going to do this to yourself. No one else is going to do it. Your broker didn't do it. The lag on Trade-O-Vate ain't causing it. All these little things. I read social media. I listen to people in live streams talk about it. Their chat window. Then they keep hammering it. That means they're ate up with it. And that means that if they're left to their own devices, that individual will go out there and do something in trading, push a button, because they're angry and they want to be soothed. They want to be reminded that, hey, you're not average. You're not like Carl. He's in there trying to be a career man. You're going out there and you're trying to get money. You're trying to get the bag. You want to secure the bag. You want to be a profitable trader. You want to carve out an identity outside of the rat race that everyone else goes and pursues. But failure is a choice. It's a choice, folks. Nobody makes you go in there and take another trade when you had a losing trade. Nobody tells you, hey, You just took 3 losses. It's probably enough for today. You should stop. No, they're not going to be around to do that. You have to say, this is it. I have to stop. I can't do it. I can't take another hit today, so I have to stop. Even though I can trade, even though I can put another trade on, I have to stop. Because what I'm doing, I'm getting more emotional about the results. Whereas my lectures and when I'm teaching and talking to you, the psychological elements, the tug of war aspect of being right and wrong, and both of them are toxic. You can be in a lot of pain while in drawdown, but you can also be in a lot of pain while being in profit and in a profitable trade. Some of you don't even know what that feels like, but when you're there for the first time, you're going to know, oh, my target's right there. It's got to go 1.5 more handles. It's got to just go 2 more pips, cover the spread. Please, 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 please. You start praying to the chart. You're no longer an atheist. You believe in the candlestick gods. They don't exist. But all of that stuff that we do, we cheerlead ourselves. Come on, baby. Come on. Give it to daddy. Come on. You know, I facetiously do that sometimes in my annotations just to tease. But as soon as you start looking at things like that, you're inviting emotions, and emotions are going to weigh heavily on what you do in the future. How fast are you going to take the next trade? How much time will it take for you to take the next trade? Both ends of the spectrum. If you made money, I want to go in there right now and do it again. That was amazing. Let's do it again. When you take a loss, oh crap. Well, I see this setup here. This is the one I should have took, but I'm not going to touch it right now. And it runs. Goes right to where you thought it was going to be. And now you're regretting it. You took a loss, real. Then you saw something. You were scared to take it, and it worked. So now you're going to impulsively jump on the next thing. And that will be the loss again. What's wrong? Is it your model? No. It's you, the operator. You have to have a way, and it's not easy, folks. I'm not saying it is. But you have to constantly remind yourself that you are the only control mechanism. Every account out there that you open up, whether it be a demo, a combine, or a live account, all of them are controlled ultimately by you. No one forces you to put a trade on, and no one keeps you from taking a trade. Fear and greed are the drivers in this game. And these are the kind of discussions that I get most people to say, well, you know, this isn't worth listening to. And these are the same people that'll be around on social media 2 years from now. And if they were asked point blank and they were honest, are you making money trading? They're not. And they have no idea what they're doing. They haven't even pursued one approach or anything. But they want to use social media just like a trader will use the charts and trading to replace whatever, to fill that void. Anger, breaking up with a person in a relationship, losing someone, getting fired. You're angry, you're charged up, and you want to remind yourself that you're human, that you're alive. This isn't the end of the road. I want to have something else to focus on besides this. Please give me something to distract myself. Well, a winning trade, that's the best thing to distract you, isn't it? It's not.